To our review of the Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady.
So we're currently on an 8-day, 7-night cruise on the Scarlet Lady, with the ports being St. Croix, Puerto Plata, Bimini, and San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Yes. So this will be our third Virgin Voyages sailing, and we just want to give you guys an overall review of our sailing and some of the things that Virgin has to offer.
So today we're going to review the entertainment, the food, Embarkation, Bimini, and some things that we think they could improve on.
Yes. So first things first, one thing that we do want to go ahead and share with you guys is just some of the things that Virgin offer that stands out versus other cruise lines. So the first thing they offer is the dining. So no specialty dining on a Virgin cruise, all dining is included. The second thing is soft drinks and water. You do not have to pay for soft drinks and water. There are soft drink stations. You can go to any bar, and there's actually water in your cabin that is refilled every day by your cabin steward or room attendant. Gratuities are included in your sailings. You do not have to prepay or pay gratuities. They're already included in the price of your cruise. You can take fitness classes on this ship without paying anything. Sometimes they do charge. Virgin, no charge for fitness classes. The entertainment, all the entertainment is absolutely free and included. You can change the date of your voyage up to 45 days before your cruise. It's kind of unheard of because for most cruise lines, final payment dates are 60 to 90 days out. Once you make those final payments, you're kind of stuck unless you cancel. So that's another perk. The final perk is you can change the name of the person who's going to be in your cabin up to 48 hours before your sailing. Guys, that is huge. Yeah, that is huge. Just because sometimes last minute things happen that is out of your control, and you don't want to have to pay to make sure that you can still enjoy your sailing and you can still bring somebody along with you.
So first up, Embarkation.
Embarkation. So Embarkation on this cruise, on this particular cruise, took a little longer than anticipated, but it was no fault of Virgin's. It was actually something that happened on our end. We definitely needed to make sure that we took care of all of our check-in things before we got on the ship.
Yes.
But because we did it, we were still absolutely fine. One of the crew members was so glad to help us get checked in and all our documents scanned and our picture taken so we can get on the ship and have a great time. Even in doing all of that, it took us less than 15 minutes to get on the ship.
So just be aware, I'm a little bit at fault here. So just be aware before you board, just make sure you have your health questionnaire, your passport, and your emergency contact information filled out so you can cut out at least 5 minutes of nonsense.
Yes, and make sure you take that boarding day picture as well,
yes,
in the app. The health questionnaire will come to you 24 hours before you actually have to board the ship, so no worries if you don't see it and you don't have immediate access to it. They will actually give you a notification in the app when it's time to update that questionnaire. The other thing that is very important to know about Virgin is you don't have to print out for any documents. When you get ready to get on the ship, what happens is when you give your luggage to the porters, they will actually give your tag to you and write your cabin number on the luggage tag and put it on your luggage for you. So there's nothing that you have to pre-print. It's actually already done for you here at the port. You just take it to them and they will deliver it to your cabin. They said within an hour of you actually checking in to the cruise. So everything is good to go.
So next, we're going to move to the cabin.
Yes. So these cabins on the Scarlet Lady has had a little bit of a refresh, and I have noticed some differences from when we sailed on the inaugural sailing. One of the huge differences I have noticed is that the cabin steward will come if you put on the makeup cabin sign, but they don't come as often because when we sailed the inaugural, what would happen is they will come in and set your bed up for daytime, which would be more like a living room set. Then At night, they will come back and set up the bed. So all of that is done away. Now they come in, they clean your room, your bed stays set up. And I actually like that better because we're not entertaining anybody in our cabins. We don't really need that set up for daytime tonight. So, you know, have a cabin steward work a little less. They can come in, they can set up one time, clean up one time, and then go on about their day. On this cruise, we actually have a sea terrace cabin, and that does include the famous red hammock, and sea terrace just translates to balcony.
How did you get into the hammock okay?
I got into the hammock fairly well. I was really shocked and surprised at how easy it was to get into that hammock. I was scared, but it was good.
Because when we did the inaugural, it seemed like we had issues, but
yeah.
You nailed it.
I nailed it this time. So another thing we want to mention about the cabins are the beds. Please be aware that these are platform beds and they sit a little lower to the ground than usual. So they are not as comfortable as some beds are on some cruise lines just because of the type of beds that they are. If you have the opportunity, make sure you ask your cabin steward if they can provide you with maybe even like a mattress topper to kind of soften it up. If you like a softer mattress, I am a soft mattress girl. So if you like a softer mattress, definitely ask your cabin steward if that's something they can provide for you and they can make your sleeping accommodations just a little bit more comfortable.
They also have, unlike not like many cruise lines, they do have a sign where if you want to not be disturbed, you just touch a button and it puts out a red light on the outside of your cabin for you not to be disturbed. If you want your cabin to be made up, there's a button you can also press that lights blue, and that tells the cabin steward that you want your cabin made up. They also did not know this. There is a doorbell.
Yes.
On the outside of the cabin. It is a green button, so if you can't, can't find your things, or if you hear a ding, that might be the cabin steward ringing the doorbell. So just be aware of that as well.
Yes. All the cabins are accessible by a band. So you will get one of these at check-in. There are no ship cards, there are no key cards, anything like that. Everything happens through this band. Anything that you charge, anything that you purchase will happen with this band, including getting into your cabin. So just be aware. Try not to lose this band. This is your key to the world of Virgin.
And it's one less thing you have to keep up with. It just stays like this. Another thing with Virgin, unlike other cruise lines, basically your room is controlled via this tablet.
Yes.
So this tablet controls your lighting, your bedroom temperatures. It has different lighting moods. It also controls your entertainment. So it has live TV. Yes, it has live TV. It has series and movies that you can choose from. There are a quite extensive list of movies and TV shows that you can choose from, along with some live TV. And make sure this also stays charged, because if this is not charged, then you basically don't have access to your room, the lighting and other things.
And one more thing we will say before we move on from the cabins about the sea terrace. If that balcony door is open, it cuts off the air conditioning. So make sure that if you are a air conditioning person, make sure that balcony door is closed, so that way the air conditioning can kick on for you and you can stay nice and cool.
We might be on this subject for a while. The next subject is food.
The food. So, as mentioned before, Virgin does have all of their dining included, and all of their dining is basically specialty dining. The first thing that you do need to be mindful of is as soon as you book and you are able to check in, go ahead and make your reservations in the app. But if you cannot make a reservation for an experience that you want, no need to fret, no need to worry. You can do that once you get on board the ship. Virgin is kind of known for helping procrastinators. Once you get on the ship, they hold a certain amount of booking spaces for those dining establishments for people who procrastinate and getting things done. And you can get actually reservations to certain restaurants when you get on the ship. So some of the specialty dining restaurants here on Virgin that we have also had the pleasure of eating at includes Gumbay, Extra Virgin, Razzle Dazzle, aka The Lucky Lotus, Pink Agave, The Pizza Place, The Social Bar, The Dock House, and The Wake.
And lick me till I scream.
And lick me till I scream. Now, all of these are included in your fare. So don't worry, you can experience these, and a few of them you can actually experience them for brunch.
In the galley.
And the galley, yes, and the galley. So the galley is not, let's get into the food. Okay. So the galley is not your typical type of dining. It's not your typical buffet style. It's almost like a big diner / restaurant where you can either go in, take a seat, order from the menu, and they will serve you, or you can go and pick different areas of the galley to grab your food and eat from there.
So they have salad, basically a salad.
Their daily mix, which is like their salad bar.
Yes. They have Let's Talk About It, which is their Mexican-inspired restaurant.
Yes.
There's the ramen.
The noodle bar.
Which is their ramen bar.
Yes.
There is the burger bar. The burger bar.
Yes.
Which is self-explanatory.
There is Diner and Dash, which is their 24-hour breakfast, and there's also a place where you can get sandwiches called Hot Off the Press.
So we had the pleasure, again, of eating all these places, and they're all good.
They're all good.
Obviously, everything's not perfect,
Yes.
but for the most part, they're all good. So for someone with a unsophisticated palate, some of the food was a little foodie for me, if that makes any sense. I am very basic, plain, bare bones eater, and some of the food is a little sophisticated for my liking, but all the food in total is good. There are things you can get, dumbed down, like the noodle bar, for example. You can just get the ramen and the pork.
Yes.
The burger bar, you can just get a bacon cheeseburger. That's it. So for me, the food was good.
Yes. So no, it's fine.
Okay.
So I actually had a great food experience. I will say that I am very much a more adventurous eater than Brandon is. I like my veggies. I like to try something at least once, and if I don't like it, I definitely won't go back. But the experience with the food has been great. One thing I will say about the food is it's not overly anything. It's not overly sweet. It's not overly seasoned. It's not overly done. It's not overly greasy. It's not overly aggressive to the palate. Most of the food, most of it, even the desserts, even the ice cream was just enough. And I did not feel tired, weighed down, extra full. I just felt great after eating. There was never a time that I just felt bad after having a meal on this ship.
So by far, the best thing that I have eaten on this ship has been the pizza.
The pizza is good.
Yes. By far the best thing I've eaten on the ship has been the pizza. Close second was the bacon cheeseburger.
I don't know if I have a super close favorite. I am a breakfast person. The French toast saved my life. I had to actually stop ordering French toast because I was eating the French toast every day, and bread we'll get to after 8 days on a cruise ship. But the French toast was probably my favorite breakfast item. And then my favorite food was the sticky ribs in the Lucky Lotus.
Yes, those were.
They were very good. They were a little spicy, but they were good.
So, final verdict: if you are a foodie, you're gonna love this ship. The ship is built for foodies. Yes.
So another experience that we tried for the first time on Virgin, and it's something that I have been saying that cruise lines should do more of, is the Lols Supper Club. If you don't know what Lols is, it literally stands for LOL, laugh out loud with a Z on the end. So it is a comedy / dinner show in the Manor, which is their club area, and they also host other events there as well. But it was an interesting concept. I enjoyed it. I am not a comedian person. I do not like comedy shows. And they were all good, but the last one was my absolute favorite, and I chuckled the whole time he was on stage.
And the food was good.
The food was good too. Yes. I know we're talking about food. Sorry. The food was good as well. So we did have ribs and kind of like cookout style. So ribs and baked beans, and it was good.
Yes.
We didn't, no complaints. So try the supper club at least once, no charge again. So let's get into entertainment.
They don't have your traditional cruise director. What they have is
influencers.
And it's 12 members of what they call the Happenings cast.
Yes.
So they all kind of chip in as de facto cruise directors.
Yes. So they do offer different experiences. They all have different names. Like one is called the foodie, one is the gamer, one is the hype man. So they all have different names that go along with who they are and their personalities. And they host different things throughout the ship. So quizzes, game shows, trivias, cabaret, bingo. So many different things that you can do throughout the day. There's arts and crafts. So many different things that you can do that the Happenings cast are there and they are in the mix. The entertainment has just been amazing.
Yes, and they also have, your comedians.
Yes.
And they have your singers that boost shows on, was it On the Rocks?
Yes, On the Rocks was mainly where the shows were held and in the dock house.
Yes. They also have karaoke. So
yes.
There are several things to do on board Virgin Voyages that will keep you entertained. I will say most of the entertainment happens at night,
yes.
but there are things that will keep you entertained throughout the day.
Yes.
That's what.
Yes. All right, so our next topic is going to be Bimini. And the reason why we specifically picked Bimini is because Bimini is where their private island, aka private resort area, is held.
Well, the day we went was started off a little rough. Mm-hmm. So it was raining for most of the morning.
Yes.
So therefore we got a kind of a late start to the beach club. So by the time we got to the beach club and we get ready to go out, the lines were longer because we could not get off earlier. What we would recommend is getting off the ship, if you can, earlier. That prevents you from standing in lines, particularly for the tram.
Yes. So the tram is not the only form of transportation off from the pier, but it is the most convenient. You can also walk, but it is about a mile from the resort back to the ship. So we would suggest taking the tram.
Yes.
The tram does come probably once every 10 minutes or so. Yes. It seemed to be on this sailing. But there are other options to get around Bimini. You can rent a golf cart. You might have to take a little walk, but you can rent a golf cart, other things. But our specific topic is going to be the beach club. The beach club, your wristbands, your drink packages do work on the beach club. They do serve lunch there until about 4 p.m. There are 2 different dining areas. One does close sooner than the other one, just depending on the movement of the crowd. In the beach club, there's 2 pools, there's bars, there's a DJ. You have access to the beach, and there's beach beds and all cabanas. Anything that you would want is happening at this beach club.
So the energy was great when we went.
Yes.
And the pools are big enough where it doesn't feel super crowded.
Yes.
The 2 pools are big enough where they just don't feel
yes.
Super crowded. And there are plenty of seating options around the pool as well. Mm-hmm.
You don't have to fight for umbrellas. Most of the chairs, even on the beach, have umbrellas. You can have a chair inside the pool if you want. You can sit poolside with the umbrella. Like, there's plenty of options. There's picnic tables to eat at as far as your lunch is concerned. There's plenty, like I said before, plenty of bars. So you have options there. There's no reason to feel uncomfortable. If you want some of the premium seating, the beds, mm-hmm. we again suggest getting off the ship early so you can snag those.
And the beach area is vast, so there's not an overcrowding, yes. as you will feel like some beaches.
Yeah.
There's not particularly overcrowding. There's plenty of space. Again, there are cabanas. There are plenty of beach chairs mm-hmm. For you to go out there and sit and put your stuff at. again, that stuff is kind of first come, first serve.
Yes.
So like I said, we would recommend getting out there as early as possible.
Yes. Now also keep in mind that the cabanas are not included in the price. You will have to pay extra for those. If you don't do so in the app, make sure you go to your Shore Things desk, which is on the ship next to your future cruise desk, and you can actually book a cabana there.
So the food on the island, to me, again, I'm going to defer to Siobhan here because I didn't like the food, so I'll let her talk about the food.
So the food was good. If you are not an adventurous eater as Brandon, it may be some things that you just don't like. So they do have options. They have more or less a vegetarian or vegan option, and then they have a option for the meat eaters. So what I ate while on the island was like a honey glazed chicken. That's probably why Brandon did not like it. He does not like honey. They had like a watermelon salad. They had rice and beans and also a rum cake and corn on the cob. Now, I will say the rum cake and the corn were rolled in coconut. And it was almost like a coconut overload. So you just have to be mindful that the food on the island may be more of a Bahamian or Caribbean theme versus something that you'll get on the ship. If you don't want to eat on the island, that is absolutely fine. You can come back to the ship and eat just as well. All right, so this is the time we get into the hits and the misses of Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. Brandon, let's talk about the hits. The first hit will be the late boarding time.
Yes.
Late boarding time leads to beautiful nighttime sailaways, and we absolutely are a huge fan of those nighttime sailaways.
That's the biggest hit.
That is the biggest hit for us. We love a good city skyline, and Miami has the most beautiful skyline to sail away from that we have seen so far. And being that we sail away at night, that hit has been amazing.
Misses. The app. The app is a little difficult to navigate. There's a couple of different steps you have to go through to see what is going on.
Yes.
You know, most cruise lines will have basically just open up the app and they have things going on. With Virgin, it takes a little while to get to the app, for the app to load, and then you have to go to events lineup. Like, it's another step.
Yes.
And in this microwave world, that's not particularly great.
No.
But it is a little cumbersome. Even before we got on the cruise, even the checking in process can be somewhat difficult on the app itself. So the miss for me is the app.
Yes. A hit for me, sail away champagne. Now, not just sail away champagne, because what cruise line is going to give you bubbly to sail away besides Virgin? Virgin is going to make sure that you are good to go. So that sail away champagne is absolutely amazing, but there's other opportunities on the ship where you can also get a little extra kick, a little bubbly while you're sailing.
I guess I'm just labeled with the misses now. So for me, a miss is the seating for dinner and ambiance in one restaurant in particular, Lucky Lotus,
Yes.
Razzle Dazzle.
Yes.
So you are seated separately, but the space in between you and the next person is very minimal. So you're not gonna get like that. If you want to have that romantic dinner and be off to the side or be alone, you're not gonna get that. You're still gonna have somebody within
talking distance
of you. And the lighting in Lucky Lotus it made it very hard to read the menu. It was a red tint, so it was very hard to read the menu, and we had to use a flashlight to read our menu. So that will be a miss for me.
Yes.
A miss is the comfort level of the bed. The bed is very firm. I know you're able to maybe get a mattress topper to compensate for some of that, but it's only going to help us so much. So a miss for me is the comfortability of the bed.
All right, and a miss for me is also, I gotta miss y'all, I know. A miss for me is going to be the bathrooms. They are kind of small. Now, I will say there's not much space in between the toilet and the shower. Hopefully, as Virgin goes on and they order new ships, hopefully they will take into consideration the size of the bathroom. The space is just not very accommodating, especially if you're over 6 foot. You're probably gonna have a hard time in that shower. So that miss will be the bathroom.
So a hit for me will be the tablet. Being able to control everything in the cabin via the tablet is a hit for me because I love technology and it makes everything easier.
Yes. And a hit for me, my last hit, just the crew. The crew has been absolutely amazing. All levels of crew, even for for management, they have all been amazing. They've been accommodating, and they've just been absolutely great. They make you feel comfortable, and they actually make you feel ready to jump on another cruise.
And here's might be the biggest miss of them all. The layout of the ship.
Let's talk about it real quick.
So there are some spaces that are only attainable if you go down and then go up and then go across.
Yes.
We have gotten lost many a time on this ship trying to find certain places.
Yeah, so it's very choppy, and I will say that because of the layout, because of how blocky it is, you really got to have a direct path to where you are going. All right, so the layout of the ship does take some getting used to. If you're not used to that choppy, blocky, up, down, round and around,
yes.
You do want to make sure that you kind of know where you're going before you actually set foot out to explore the ship, because I got lost and I feel like I'm a navigator.
Yes. So, like I said previously, there's just like if you want to get to like the casino, you have to go all the way to the midship, then go down, and then walk again to like the aft.
Yes.
The forward, was it forward?
Forward, yes.
Then you have to walk forward to the casino.
Yes.
So that's just an example of how blocky and how just hard to navigate this ship is.
And we've been on this ship 8 days and I still have not figured it out. But the perk is we do have a great location for this cabin. We literally walk out of our door, jump in the elevator, go up to 15 to the galley when we're ready to eat, and go down to 7 when we're ready to explore the rest of the ship, because basically you have to go on 7 to get anywhere.
Yes. So just remember that. Just keep 7
is your central point to any other deck on this ship, because that 7 is basically the only deck that you can walk straight through from one end to the other.
Yeah, so the biggest miss of them all, the layout of the ship.
Yes. Yeah. So with that being said, I think our overall experience, what would you give Virgin?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. And I would have to agree. 8 out of 10 is going to be for me. Virgin is quickly climbing up into my top 3 cruise lines.
And the reason I will put it at like an 8 out of a 10 is there's so much to do, but yet you still have so much time to relax.
Yes.
It is it's very relaxing. There are plenty. I know we just talked about the layout of the ship, but a hit of I guess I will put this as a hit. There are plenty of seating around, whether it be outside or inside. There's plenty of seating where you're just able to just lay back, relax, and listen to music,
read a book, play a game, just talk, have conversations.
And it's not loud, so it's like you can have a conversation. That is one of the biggest hits for me, is just having that seating where you're just able to relax and it's not too loud. And also, we've also taken several naps, so that's the biggest hit to me.
Oh, that is a hit. Not having to wake up at the butt crack of dawn, okay? We can actually sleep in a little bit. getting into some of these ports and destinations at the time that we've been getting in, and just relax before getting off that ship and not having to feel rushed to meet excursions or different things like that. So yes, that time to get to relax and recharge and still have fun is the perfect balance of both for me. So if you are interested in booking your Virgin Voyages cruise, or if you think you might want to try Virgin but you have a little more questions, you can reach out to me, Siobhan. I am a travel agent. I can not only book Virgin, but I can book other cruises as well. Reach out to me, parkersonthego16@gmail.com, and I can help you get booked on your next Virgin Voyages cruise.
So let us know in the comments below.
What are your hits and misses for Virgin Voyages?
So until next time,
Parkers out.